Good evening. I'd like to focus tonight on what we know and a few concrete strategies we can implement to improve teacher retention in the district. First, a big thank you to the State Board for its continued interest and investment in this area in the newest report, and a big congratulations to DCPS for a significant improvement in the one-year retention rate from last year. These numbers show that when we recognize a problem and put it on the agenda, we can solve it together. So I want to start by talking a little bit about what we hear about teacher turnover versus what we know. We've heard for years that teacher turnover is not a problem because we retain those educators we've rated as effective. While that's largely true for DCPS, we also know, thanks to the new OSSI report on the teacher workforce, that retention of even effective and highly effective teachers in the charter sector to be 62% annually. That's enormous turnover of effective teachers. Second, even in DCPS, while we retain effective educators year to year, we don't retain them in the 3 to 5 year range. Second, I don't want to harp on salaries because in DCPS at least, they're sufficient to not be a big contributor to turnover, but we often hear that DCPS salaries are $25,000 higher than the national average and the highest in the country, but it is actually 21st among the states when you take into account cost of living, right in the middle. We should be honest about accounting for cost of living because that can prevent teachers from staying in the district, and we know that salaries in the charter sector, as we just heard, can be lower and contribute to serious racial and gender pay equity concerns. Third, we heard that we are beating the average for teachers of color, and that is absolutely true and critical and deserves praise. But on the other hand, we know our Latinx representation gap is a chasm, a deeply troubling status quo for our Latinx students. The OSSI report showed that in Ward 1, 58% of students are Latinx and just 10% of educators, with similar numbers in Ward 4, and this will be one of our largest focuses at Power Ed this year on the Latinx representation gap. Finally, we hear even from those who want to address this that we don't know why teachers are leaving. That's not true. We know that data on DCPS exit surveys, the new OSSI report, years of testimony and discussion from DC teachers, and the top reasons, dissatisfaction with school leadership, a culture focused more on accountability systems than collaboration, and lack of teacher leadership opportunities. We've heard the same 3 reasons cited again and again. We can and should continue to study the problem, but it's time to act on the overwhelming evidence that teacher turnover here is high, and we do have an idea of what we can do about it. So I'll mention a few brief things, and there's more in my complete testimony. First, ensuring continuous data, including the proposal on the floor tonight. Second, we need a universal exit survey for both sectors that gives us continuous information on why teachers are leaving, information that should be made public. Third, we need to move from evaluation systems to growth systems. Systems like impact should be replaced with models like peer assistance and review, a question that was asked earlier, and I'd love to go into more detail. Fourth, we should work to implement asset mapping and teacher-led professional development, among other teacher leadership roles at schools. Fifth, schools should evaluate and implement part-time and flexible scheduling models, especially to aid in the retention of educators who are new parents. Sixth, we should create an environment that facilitates strong mentor relationships, but do so carefully because research shows overly formalized mentoring programs can often harm teacher retention. If we create environments of trust where teachers feel empowered, they learn from each other, continuously grow, and where teachers thrive, they will stay. We're dedicated to making this happen and hope all interested will join us as we launch a series on improving professional culture November 6th. There's nothing preordained about high turnover. We can fix this.